Clerk, you may lead the order. Order number 1, communication from the chair. Honourable members elect, before I did this communication, I wish to ask my colleagues from the clerk's chamber and the sergeant at arms to introduce themselves, please.
Good morning. My name is Anne Shibuko. I'm a clerk at the table in the National Assembly.
Good morning. My name is Hussein Haile. I'm also a clerk assistant at the table.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Anastasia Moringo. I'm a clerk assistant at the National Assembly.
Good morning everyone. My name is Willis Obiero, clerk assistant, National Assembly.
Good morning, I'm Rosri Njuki, Senior Sergeant at Arms, National Assembly.
Good morning, I'm Mwanasha Juma, Sergeant at Arms.
Good morning. I'm Anthony Kariuki, Sergeant at Arms at National Assembly.
John Dwashi, Sergeant at Arms, National Assembly.
I'm Perpetual Mwiga, clerk at the table, National Assembly. Honourable members, I beg to welcome you to this these first sittings. And as you're all seated, and having looked at the numbers of the members present, I can confirm that we have the requisite quorum to conduct the business to be transacted today under Article 121 of the Constitution. Honourable members elect, I have the following communication to make on behalf of the staff of the National Youth Assembly, and on my own behalf, I wish to welcome you all to this first sitting of the National Youth Assembly of the 13th Parliament. I take this opportunity to particularly welcome back all the members who have been re-elected from the previous parliaments. Honourable members, I also extend a special welcome to the members joining the National Youth Assembly for the very first time. Congratulations to you all. Honourable members, Standing Orders number 3 of the National Youth Assembly Standing Orders provide as follows: that on the first sitting of a new house, pursuant to the President's notification, in this circumstance, the KYPA CEO, under Article 126(2) of the Constitution, the clerk shall read the notification of the President as published in the Kenya Gazette, lay a list of the names of the persons elected as members on the table of the House, administer oath or affirmation of office provided for in the third schedule of the Constitution to all members elect present in the House in the order set out in paragraph 3. Honourable members elect, His Excellency the President, and in this case, the CEO of the KYPA, pursuant to the provisions of Article 126(2) of the Constitution, notified this first sitting of the National Youth Assembly of the 13th Parliament through a Gazette Notice 10522 of 12th August 2024. Honourable members elect, in accordance with the requirement of the Standing Orders number 1(3)(b), I will now proceed to lay on the table of the House a list of names of persons as elected members of the National Youth Assembly. I will now guide will ask the Deputy Speaker to assist me in laying the names of the members elect to the table of the House. Honourable members-elect, I will now guide the House on the procedure to be followed in the administration of oath or affirmation of office. Standing Order number 3.3 requires the Clerk of the National Youth Assembly to administer the oath or affirmation of office to members of the House in alphabetical order. In this regard, honourable members-elect, I'd like to confirm that I have, in accordance with the above provisions, prepared the list containing the names of all members-elect as published by IEBC in the relevant gazette notices. In this case, in your social media. I therefore direct the Deputy Clerk to lay on the table of the House the list of elected members in order of precedence prescribed under Standing Order number 3.3. Honourable members-elect, I wish to emphasize that this is a sitting of the House, and therefore all members are expected to be orderly and to follow the rules of procedure set out in the standing orders which this House has passed, namely the Speaker's rule, the established precedents, customs, procedures, and traditions of the House. Members are, however, at liberty to sit freely as there is no reserved seat today. I shall now proceed to administer the oath and affirmation of office to all members-elect. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 2, administration of oath.
I believe the oath has been circulated to you on WhatsApp. Please confirm. So, honourable members-elect, you may be upstanding to take the oath of office, which has been circulated to you. You will insert your name on the gap. You may go ahead. Kindly put the mics on. You may start.
I,
having been elected a member of the
Senate
or National Assembly, do swear
in the name
of the Almighty God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people and the Republic of Kenya,
that I will obey,
respect, uphold, preserve, protect, and defend this Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, that I will fully and conscientiously discharge the duties of the Member of Parliament. So help me God.
So help me God.
You may be seated. The oath book will be circulated to you. You to append your signatures. You may put off your mics. Next order.
Order number 3, election of the Speaker.
Clerk. Honourable members, wish to make this communication regarding the election of the Speaker. My office has received 2 names, 2 nominees for the election as Speakers of the KYPA. And the names are Lucky Chakwe Kadingo from Kwale County and Mohammed Skada coming from Kwale County. I have also received a letter from the Registrar of Political Parties and indicating that there's a coalition that has been formed between the Kwale County, the Lamu County and KYPA. And therefore, the Lamu County and KYPA have submitted 1 name for the Speaker and 1 name for the Deputy Speaker. And therefore, we shall go ahead and conduct the election. And we are going to use this procedure. You are just going to indicate your preferred candidate and put them in the ballot box. This 1 name. Any ballot paper containing more than 1 name of a candidate, of a nominee, will be declared as faulty, will be rejected. Please, you may go ahead. And we're going to take only 5 minutes for this activity so that we can proceed and do the election of the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker. And in line with our Constitution, if the Speaker-elect is a male, then the Deputy will be a female. Thank you. Sergeant Adams, please provide the ballot box. Just a reminder, the names are Lucky Kadingo and Mohammed Skada. We'll ask the 2 candidates, since they are members of this House, to be upstanding. And approach the table. And in this case, the table is this table in front of us. What's your point of order?
Point of order, Madam Speaker. The ballot that we are giving, are we going to write the name of the person that we're going to elect, or the procedural of this election, please? Thank you.
Okay, the procedure that we're going to follow, you're going to indicate the name of the speaker, that your preferred candidate, and then you're going to put your ballot paper in the box. And then the officers will do the tallying. And I had called upon the speaker and the two nominees for the speaker to identify themselves.
Excuse me, Madam Speaker. First, we are starting with the speaker. Okay, thank you.
Nitaipataje? I wish to confirm whether everyone has voted, every member. Having confirmed that all the members have voted, I wish to call upon two tellers from the two parties. And I will request the Deputy Clerk to open the box, and we shall commence the tallying.
We are going to read out the name of the candidates as the clerks assist in tallying, and the tellers are the agents for your respective parties. Mohammed Sikanda. When do you Mohammed? Lucky Kadingo. Lucky Kadingo. Mohammed Sikanda. Lucky Kadingo. Mohammed Sikanda. Lucky Kadingo. Lucky Kadingo. Lucky Kadingo. Lucky Kadingo. Lucky Kadingo. Mohammed Skanda. Mohammed Skanda. Mohammed Skanda. Mohammed Skanda. Mohammed Skanda. Lucky Kadingo. Lucky Kadingo. Mohammed Skanda. Mohammed Skanda. Lucky Kadingo. Mohammed Skanda. Lucky Kadingo. Lucky Kadingo. Lucky. Mohammed Skanda. Mohammed Skanda. Lucky Kadingo. Mohammed Skanda. 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 Lucky Kadingo. Mohammed Skanda. Lucky Kadingo. Mohammed Skanda. 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 Lucky Kadigo. Mohammed Skanda. Lucky Kadigo. Mohammed Skanda. Mohammed Skanda. Mohammed Skanda. Mohammed Skanda. Mohammed Skanda. Mohammed Skanda. Lucky, Mohammed. Okay, this is a spoilt one. The tellers can confirm. The person has written both Mohammed and Lucky. And Lois Hamba.
No, this is the deputy.
No, there's no deputy. It's spoilt. You're supposed to write one name. So it's a one spoilt vote. Lucky Kadingo. Lucky Kadingo. Mohammed Skanda. The spoilt vote. So we shall wait for the tallying of votes to conclude and announce the results shortly. Other ballot paper remaining in the box.
Honourable members, the results I have with me are as follows. We had 2 candidates, remember? There was Mohammed Skada and there was Lucky Kadingo. The total number of valid vote cast is 58, and we have 1 spoiled vote and no abstention. The total number of votes count is 59, that is 58, and 1 spoiled. This is signed by the tellers. And the tellers were Abdulwalib Muhammad and Said Musa. I now take this opportunity to declare that Mr. Honourable Muhammad Skada is elected as the Speaker of the Youth Parliament. Honourable members, having declared the Speaker of the Youth Assembly of the 13th Parliament, I now direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to identify and present him before me here in the assembled house so that he may take the subscribed oath of office as a Speaker in accordance with the Constitution.
No, alone.
Honourable members, you may be upstanding as the Sergeant-at-Arms has identified the Speaker, so Honourable Muhammad, and Honourable Muhammad will come over and take the oath of office. You may take the oath of office.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I, Muhammad.
Come closer.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I, Muhammad Skanda, having been elected as the Speaker of the National Assembly, do swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people and the Republic of Kenya, that I will faithfully and consistently discharge my duty as the Speaker of this National Assembly, that I will obey, respect, uphold, preserve, protect, and defend this Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, and that I will do right to all manner of person in accordance with this Constitution of Kenya and the laws and Convention of Parliament without fear or favor, affection, or will, or ill will. So help me God. Honourable members, I wish to make a short submission of the Speaker to the will of this House. Honourable members, the Clerk of the National Youth Assembly, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to express my heartfelt gratitude to the honourable members here assembled for the high honour that you have bestowed upon me by electing me as the Speaker of this august House. Honourable members, I accept and submit to your will, and I am ready to serve as your Speaker. I commend all the youth who expressed interest in becoming your Speaker, and laud the effort of my worthy opponent in today's election, Honourable Lucky Kadingo, and my predecessors. I am eternally humble and extremely privileged to now occupy this hallowed seat. Honourable members, when I look at you and visualize the grilling campaign you have all undergone, I must say that I am proud of all of you for ultimately making it to this House a dream for everybody. I commend you. Honourable members, I am delighted to note that the youth are continuously seeking involvement and participation in governance in this nation. I assure you that my office will support this cause. I also note the significant step toward achieving the aspiration for gender parity in representation as desired by our Constitution and as demonstrated by the composition of this House. Honourable members, I am also reminded of the premium that our society now places on the leadership qualities of persons with disability, and urge the youth to come out and seek this leadership position, including youth with disabilities. Honourable members, I commit to work with the youth members in this assembly to give utmost priority to the youth agenda in this country. I will do my best to be non-partisan in executing my duties as your Speaker and ensure you are well facilitated to undertake your constitutional duties of legislation, oversight, and representation. Honourable members, I look forward to your cooperation. I thank you. Honourable members, I have received the following candidates for the position of the Deputy Speaker. Honourable Salwa Nur Katana from Kwale, Honourable Lois Hamba for the Coalition of Lamu Youth and KYPA. Honourable members, I do advise that we shall now proceed to vote as directed by the clerk. Thank you.
Order number 4, election of the Deputy Speaker.
Honourable members, as directed by the Speaker, we are going to proceed with the secret ballot for the election of the Speaker. Please, you may proceed. We'll have 5 minutes for the activity. Thank you. The ballot papers will be issued to you shortly. Thank you.
No.
I can confirm that the Speaker is eligible to vote because he is a member of this House. The IEBC has not declared the seat vacant as yet. The standing orders, Honourable Member, please refer to your standing orders. They're very clear on that. Thank you.
Thank you, honorable members. I wish to confirm that all members, including myself, have voted in this House. And now ask the two parties to give the name of their tailors or to march forward. The two parties. The party. Thank you. And I now ask the clerk to kindly proceed and assist in the tallying. Thank you very much.
I'll proceed with the tallying. Salwa Nur. Salwa Nur. Salwa Nuri. Hamba Joyce. Hamba Lois. Lois Hamba. Salwa Nur. Salwa Katana. Salwa Nur. Lois Hamba. Salwa Nur. Salwa Nur. Salwa Nuri. Salwa Nuri. Salwa Nuri. Lois Hamba. Salwa Nuri. Salwa Nuri. Lois Hamba. Salwa Nuri. Salwa Nuri. Salwa Nuri. Lois Hamba. Lois Hamba. Salwa Nuri. Lois Hamba. Salwa Nuri. Lois Hamba. Salwa Nuri. Lois Hamba. Lois Hamba. Lois Hamba. Lois Hamba. Lois Hamba. Lois Hamba. Salwa Nuri. Lois Hamba. 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 Salwa Nuri. Salwa Nuri. Lois Hamba. Lois Hamba, Salwa Nuri, Lois Hamba, Lois Hamba, Salwa Nuri, Lois Hamba, 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 Salwa Nuri, Lois Hamba, Lois Hamba. There are no votes remaining in the ballot box. We shall proceed with the tally, and the Speaker shall announce the results shortly.
taking too long.
Honourable members, I wish to confirm from the clerks if we have completed our tallings. Yes, thank you. So, as per the result I have here, I wish to state that the total number of valid vote cast for this election is 63. We have 0 spoiled votes and no abstention. And honorable members, the result I have with me are as follows. Honorable Lois Hamba, 38 votes. Honorable Salwa Nur from Kwale, 25 votes. Congratulations, Honorable Lois. And I now ask the Speaker to kindly, the clerks to kindly sit. Thank you.
Point of order.
Yes.
Point of order.
What is your point of order, Honorable Kadingo?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to challenge the credibility of this election because from my understanding, we're a total of 60 honorable members. How did we get to 63? Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member. I think we are more than 60. We are 65 as per the quorum, so that is very in order. Thank you. So,
point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
what is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, we've interacted with the honorable members. This is the third day. And we know the delegation from Kwale is 20 members. Delegation from Lamu Youth Assembly, 20 members. And our brothers from KYPA, 20 members. Kindly, if need be, we need to take a roll call so that we ascertain the number of honorable members in this house. Thank you.
I also rise on a point of order, Mr. Speaker.
I decline any point of order. Honorable members, I wish to advise the House that we do have the nomination members who are also part of this from the National Assembly. For your information. So the election are in order as per the final voting for this house. And I take no any point of order from this one. Be advised. Honorable members, I also wish to call the Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Lois Hamba, to kindly proceed for the swearing in at the Clerk's chamber here. Sergeant, can you kindly assist? From Lamu, I would request if we can have an escort from members of KYPA and Lamu. Kindly, can we have the escort for the deputy? Two members.
I, Lois Hamba, having been elected as the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, do swear in the name of the Almighty God, solemnly affirm that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people and the Republic of Kenya, that I will faithfully and conscientiously discharge my duties as the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, that I will obey, respect, uphold, preserve, protect, and defend this Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, and that I will do right to all manner of persons in accordance with this Constitution of Kenya and the laws and conventions of Parliament, without fear or favor, affection, or ill will. So help me God.
Congratulations, Madam Honorable Lois Hamba, for your win as the Deputy Speaker. And I would request, as she took her seat, to make a 2-minute statement to this Honorable House on her win. Karibu sana. You may proceed.
Thank you. I'm deeply honored and humbled to be elected to this position. It is a privilege to serve alongside such a talented and passionate group of young leaders. I understand the significance of the role I have been entrusted with The Deputy Speaker is not just a little, but a responsibility to ensure the smooth functioning of this assembly. I therefore pledge to uphold the highest standards of impartiality, fairness, and respect for all members. I am committed to amplifying the voices of young people, ensuring that our concerns and aspirations are heard and addressed. I urge all members to approach their roles with dedication and a sense of purpose. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations are in order. Honorable members, I wish to adjourn this House, and the time being 10:12, this House stand adjourned until today, Saturday, 17th August 2024 at 11:30.
Just around the corner.
Honourable members, tea is served outside. Please take some tea.
Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Saturday, 17th August 2024. Report on Committee 2 on its considerations of policy proposals addressing climate action, education, and poverty eradication.
Thank you. Honourable Engineer Mariam, kindly proceed to the floor of the House.
Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House, today being Saturday, 17th August 2024, report of Committee 3 on its consideration of policy proposal addressing climate action, education, dialogue, and poverty eradication. Thank you.
Thank you. Honourable Khalfan from Kwale County, you can proceed to the floor.
Honourable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Saturday, 17th August, report of committee on its consideration of policy proposal addressing climate action, education, and poverty eradication. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Clerk, next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
The member from Lamu, Honourable Nancy Wachira, kindly proceed to the floor.
Honourable Speaker, pursuant Standing Order 42.2c, I wish to request for statement from the Chairperson of Departmental Committee on Education regarding delayed salaries and understaffing of non-teaching personnel in special needs schools.
Thank you, Honourable Nancy. Kindly proceed, take your chair. Your request for a statement under order number 7. Kindly. The chairperson kindly proceed to give a notice.
Honourable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion, that this House adopts the compendium report of Committee 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the consideration of policy proposals addressing climate action, education, dialogue, and poverty eradication, laid on the table of the House today, being Saturday, 17th August 2024. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable Nancy, can you proceed to ask the statement again?
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honourable Speaker, pursuant Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for statement from Chairperson of Departmental Committee on Education regarding delayed salaries and understaffing of non-teaching personnel in special needs schools. Special needs schools play an indispensable role in our society, catering for the unique requirements of students in diverse learning abilities and disabilities. Additionally, it is evident that non-teaching, often referred to as support staff, play a vital role in fostering a conducive teaching and learning environment within the schools. Support staff encompasses a wide range of roles, including administrative personnel, transcribers, psychotherapists, teachers' aides, cooks, cleaners, and drivers. These staff play a crucial role, often extending beyond the confines of traditional teaching responsibilities. However, schools continue to face challenges such as delayed payment of support staff, salaried and inadequate staffing levels, which have adversely impacted to smooth operation of schools. Honourable Speaker, it is against the backdrop that I seek the statement from the Chairperson of Departmental Committee on Education on the following. 1. Measures of the Ministry of Education has to put in place to ensure increased budget allocation to meet the needs of special needs schools and timely payment of the staffs. 2. Initiative rolled out to support staffs in schools catering for the student with disability. And number 3, the ministry's intent to support staff in affected special school, given the crucial role of support staff in fostering effective learning environment for the student with disabilities. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. The Vice Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Education, Honourable Champiana, kindly proceed for a response. What is your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think we're proceeding with our business without House leadership. And I know through your guidance, Mr. Speaker, please guide us and give us the House leadership as we proceed with our business. Before we proceed, get us the leader of the House. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. I would ask the Chairperson to proceed responding as I give to your point of order as I address it. Proceed, Honourable Shampi.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, as the members of the House might be aware, the Committee on Education is in the process of preparing a report on this matter, and we will conduct site visits to various special needs schools across the country. And so I will proceed to read and respond to the statement by referring to an excerpt of our findings. Honourable Speaker, I rise to give a response from the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Education, to request for a statement by Honourable Nancy Wachira, MP, Deputy President, Lamu Youth Assembly Constituency, on delayed salaries and understaffing of non-teaching personnel in special needs schools. Article 53, Section 1B of the Constitution provides that every child has the right to free and compulsory basic education. In this regard, the government runs a free primary and free day secondary education programs for all learners, including those with disabilities and special needs. Honourable Speaker, under these programs, the government provides capitation to learners at various levels of education. At the primary school level, the approved rates are a capitation grant of 1,420 Kenyan shillings per learner, including those in special needs primary schools. In addition, the ministry is to provide top-up grants for 2,300 Kenyan shillings per learner per year to all special needs learners in primary schools. This top-up grant is for the provision of specialized learning material and assistive devices and technologies. Honourable Speaker, special needs education boarding schools are also to be provided with 11,000 Kenyan shillings per learner as boarding grants to subside boarding expenses and pay the salaries of non-teaching staff. At the secondary school level, the approved capitation rate is 22,244 Kenyan shillings per learner. Learners in special needs schools are to be provided with top-up grants of 35,730 Kenyan shillings for acquisition of specialized learning materials and assistive devices and technologies, personal emoluments for non-teaching staff, and food for subsidy for learners in boarding schools. Honourable members, whereas the approved rates, the budget provided by the ministry or to the ministry has always fallen short, leading to an underfunding of special needs education schools. The funding gap is significant, especially given the growing enrollment of our learners in institutions. The ministry has continued to make appeals to the Departmental Committee on Education and the National Assembly in general to enhance the budgetary provisions so that learners can be funded at the approved rates. This underfunding poses a serious threat to the quality of learning in the institutions, especially those learners who have severe disabilities. Honourable members, the special needs education institutions needs to be supported adequately to acquire the relevant assistive devices and learning resources depending on the nature of disabilities, and also to pay the non-teaching staff and the caregivers. Learners with special needs require more resources, including a staffing ratio of 1:1 to those with severe disabilities. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Honourable members, I wish to advise the House that the other statement shall be issued at an appointment. And now, advise the clerk to proceed to the next order. Clerks, before we proceed to the next order, there's a point of order that was raised here, and I wish to advise to inform the House that in accordance to the Standing Order 19 of our House, which states the procedure for the Leader of Majority and the Leader of Minority for this House, to my understanding and information is that both parties have not yet submitted their names to this House, and we shall announce the names of both party leaders once we have the submission to us. So the party leaders, the two parties should forward their names to the clerks. Thank you. Can we proceed to the next order?
Order number 8, procedural motion, limitation of debate on motions.
Thank you. Honorable members, now that the House is fully informed that there's abstention of the Leader of Majority and the Leader of Minorities, so I advise that the Honorable Deputy Speaker to move the motion. Kindly proceed to the floor.
In the absence of the majority party leader, I beg to raise this motion that pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 97(1), this House orders that each speech in a debate on any motion, including a special motion, be limited in the following manner: a maximum of 1 hour with not more than 5 minutes for the mover and 3 minutes for any other member speaking, except the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 5 minutes each, and that 3 minutes before the expiry of the time, the mover shall be called upon to reply, and that priority in speaking be accorded to the leader of the majority party, the leader of the minority party, and the chairperson of the relevant departmental committee, in that order. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. I now call upon Honorable Member from Kwale County to second the motion, Honorable Hamadi Mwadzore.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to second the procedural motion by the Deputy Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, this is to allow most members to contribute to the debate. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now, those members making their way, kindly take your chairs before I propose a question. Thank you. Honorable members, I now propose the question that pursuant to the provision of the Standing Order 97, Clause 1, this House order that each speech in a debate or any motion, including a special motion, be limited in the following manner: a maximum of 1 hour with not more than 5 minutes for the mover and 3 minutes for any other member speaking, except the leader of majority and the leader of minority, who shall limit it to a maximum of 5 minutes each, and that 3 minutes before the expiry of the time, the mover shall be called upon to reply, and that priority in speaking be accorded to the leader of the majority party and the leader of the minority party, and the chairperson of the relevant departmental committee, in that order. Debate arising shall give each member 2 minutes. Honorable members, having now proposed the question, I now request members to proceed with the motion through the floor of the House, to contribute to the floor of the House. Yes, Honorable Juan, you can proceed to the floor of the House.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the compendium reports of committee.
Honorable Member, you are out of order. We are now contributing to the motion of the debate. the limitation of the debate on motion.
Thank you so much, Honourable Speaker. And through this opportunity, I want to say that as a youth coming from Lamu County and Kenya at large, I feel like the key opportunities for us in terms of youth engagements in the discussions we are having today.
Honourable Member, I think you are out of order. We are proceeding to the motion on limitation of debate on motion. If you have any contribution on that, you may take your chair, Honourable Member.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Honourable Members, since we don't have any members to put contribution on this motion, I would now put the question that pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 97-1, this House order that each speech in a debate on any motion, including special motion, be limited in the following manner: a maximum of 1 hour with not more than 5 minutes for the mover and 3 minutes for any other member speaking except the leader of the majority and the leader of the minority party, who shall be limited to a maximum of 5 minutes each, and that 3 minutes before the expiry of the time, the mover shall be called upon to reply that priority in speaking be accorded to the leader of the majority party, the leader of the minority party, and the chairperson of the relevant departmental committee in that order. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? Yes. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion, adoption of a policy proposal addressing climate action, education, and poverty eradication.
Honourable Juan, proceed to the floor of the House to move.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, I beg to move that this House adopts the compendium reports of Committee 1, 2, 3, and 4 on policy proposals addressing climate action, education, dialogue, and poverty eradication, laid on the table of the House, today being Saturday of 17th, 2024. Honourable Speaker, firstly, I would like to thank all committee chairpersons who worked tirelessly to deliberate on these issues of concern in accordance with Article number 95 of the Constitution. I would also like to thank all honourable members for their efforts in the committee which led to the culmination of these reports. Honourable Speaker, these reports presents key opportunities for youth engagement in climate action, education, dialogue, and poverty eradication. They contain key policy proposals that, if adopted, will enable Kenyans youth to become leading agents of change in the fight against climate action and push Kenya to be a global leader in literally levels. With over 75% of the nation population being under the age of 35 in the rate of youth in driving these 4 areas, they cannot be overstated. We need to empower the youth through adoption of policies that drive adoption of renewable energy technologies, strengthening educational and vocational training programs tailored to developing skills, and increasing budgetary allocations to support youth-led projects. Honourable Speaker, poverty remains a significant challenge in our society, limiting the potential of many youths. It is not just an economic issue, but one that affects health, education, and overall quality of life. By focusing on poverty eradication, we can build a prosperous nation for all. Honourable Speaker, I urge my fellow members to support this motion Our youths are our greatest asset. They are not just the future for tomorrow, they are the leaders of today. Let us empower them through the adoption of these policy proposals. Honourable Speaker, I beg to move and request my fellow chairperson, Honourable Engineer Mariam Sawanda, to second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I rise to second this motion. As my fellow colleague just said, that this matter is of utmost importance to our youth in Kenya and as a country. The potential of our youth are not fully realized because they lack the correct platforms to foster their engagement in constructive dialogue. And also, poverty eradication is a problem we all resonate with. So, in order to empower our youth, the innovations need to be put in place so that we can have economic growth that is sustainable and also long-lasting. In the realm of climate action, our youth are at the forefront of innovation as they are ready to develop community-based projects that ensure sustainable energy. Empowering their efforts as well as supporting them will lead to a sustainable future. Quality education is another cornerstone of this motion. Investing in quality education equips the youth with skills that they need to survive in the ever-changing world. And also, we not only empower the youth, but then we'll have a society that is self-sustainable in the long run. Thank you. I beg to second this motion.
Honorable members, now I propose the question that this House adopts a policy proposal addressing climate action, education and poverty eradication laid on the table of the House on Saturday, 17th August 2024. The floor is now open for debate.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First, I want to begin by thanking the members of my committee who burnt the late night oil to make this a success. Honorable Speaker, poverty is a state or a condition in which a person or a community lacks the financial resources and other essentials for a minimum standard of living. Since independence, our forefathers identified the food security, health, infrastructure, and education pillars as the key pillars that could be reinforced to enable the country to recover from the state of exploitation by our colonizers. Today, we mark the 62nd year of futile results despite the efforts of the great men of this nation. It is debatable that either our great forefathers made an error in laying the framework on how to go around reinforcing these four pillars, or some people identified the opportunity to benefit from this gap and have been laying traps to cripple the efforts of this nation to release itself from the chains of poverty. The committee, Honourable Speaker, went on to identify the modern causes of poverty, and among them was poor governance and unfair legislation and corruption. 2, unemployment and lack of access to livelihoods. And 3, unfair distribution of resources and government tenders. Honorable Speaker, the committee went on to discuss the various solutions to the challenges highlighted, and highlighted a few as indicated below. Honorable Speaker, that we should put in place harsh anti-corruption measures that are adhered to and give financial autonomy to institutions that fight corruption, as well as give the officers the security of tenure. Honorable Speaker, the youthful members of my committee also noted that there is urgent need to have a legislation passed to have just a single business permit that should be made available to the applicant within 48 hours of application. Honourable Speaker also went on to agree that we need to have in place a tender advert and oversight committee in Parliament for the young people. This committee, Honourable Speaker, should make popular all government tenders among the young people and ensure that they have access to LPO financing, plus ensure that the youth tenders are paid immediately money is raised from the government. Madam Speaker, payment of tenders, of all tenders undertaken by the young people must be given top priority. Honourable Speaker, the committee notes the need by the government that the government needs with immediate effect to eliminate work experience as a requirement for bidding and awarding of tenders for the young people. Let the government make good use of engineers from the public works. Honourable Speaker, the young people from my committee demand for immediate elimination of overlapping functions for the government. For example, Honourable Speaker, we have roads in this nation that are under the national government, departments, and at the same time, the county administrations budget for these same roads. Honourable Speaker, this is very wrong. Honourable Speaker, we also note that there is a need for all the contractors, especially from abroad with mega projects, that they must source all labor from within this country of Kenya, including but not limited to giving equal opportunities to our local engineers. Honourable Speaker, we also know that the government should and must provide farmers with training, access to improved seeds, fertilizer, irrigation, water, and capital financing, especially to the youths who are willing. And by the way, Honourable Speaker, we are ready to engage in agricultural.
Point of order. You are addressing her as the speaker. No, she's not the speaker today. She's the chairperson. So kindly, she's the chairperson.
Okay, thank you.
I want to indicate that I am the deputy speaker. In absentia of the speaker, I remain in his position. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Before I was interrupted, Honourable Speaker, I was saying that the government should and must provide farmers with training, access to improved seeds, fertilizer, irrigation water, and capital financing, especially to the youths who are willing to venture in agriculture. Honourable Speaker, the committee demand that the government should never tax any farm input, and this will in turn provide a guarantee to food security. As I finish, Honourable Speaker, I once again want to thank immensely the members of my committee who worked hard to have this report in place. Honourable Speaker, I support the committee's report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. I want to provide rules of debate so that we remain guided. Article 77 allows that all proceedings of the House shall be conducted in Kiswahili, English, or in any Kenya sign language. Members also should address the Speaker as displayed by Article 78. Every member desiring to speak shall address a request to the Speaker. Therefore, those who want to contribute to raise their hands, mention your name and county for answered record.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker. Nataka kumunga Mheshimiwa Lawrence pale
Point of order, please mention your name, your county for purposes of answered record.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry about that. Kwa majina naitwa Salwa Nuri Katana kutokea Kwale County. Nataka kumuunga Mheshimiwa Lawrence pale kwa ripoti ambayo ametupatia na kuchangia kiasi katika mada hiyo. Umaskini umekithiri sana katika nchi yetu na inachangiwa na vigezo vingi sana ikiwemo serikali yetu kuu ya Kenya. Na kwa upande huu nitataka kutoa ushuhuda kiasi kwa upande wa ujenzi, ambapo tunapata nchi yetu inapatia nafasi hiyo kwa nchi za nje ambazo zimeleta teknolojia mpya.
Point of order, Madam Speaker. Ningependa mbunge kutoka Kwale azungumze Kizungu kwa sababu ya wadona wenye tuko nao hapa. Asante.
All right, just to echo, I had provided guidance on how debate should be carried out, and under the Article 77, proceedings can be done in English or Kiswahili or any sign language, so please remain guided.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker, kwa haraka sana nataka kueleza hivi. Hapa Kenya tuko na maengineer wengi sana wenye uwezo, ubunifu na wanaelewa umuhimu wa teknolojia kulingana na dunia yetu ya sasa venye inavyoelekea. Lakini inasikitisha sana zaidi tukipata kuwa taifa yetu ya Kenya inapatia fursa hiyo kwa nchi za nje, ambayo inanyima maengineer wetu hapa Kenya kupata fursa hiyo ya kuonyesha ujuzi wao na penye wamefikia. Na kama changamoto itakuwa teknolojia, na imani kuwa Kenya as a nation inaweza chukua hiyo nafasi, ichukue maengineer wetu hapa Kenya, wawapeleke huko nje ambako wanaamini kuwa ujuzi huo unapatikana, waende uwafanyiwe hiyo njia ya kupata hiyo elimu, na warudi huku chini kwetu Kenya na waweze kutekeleza majukumu hayo. Kiupande wa umaskini unachangia pakubwa, kwa sababu unapata nchi za nje zinakuja na namna zao tofauti ambazo zinahitaji support kubwa kifedha kutoka kwa nchi yetu, ambayo inanyima fursa kubwa sana kwa wananchi wetu, hususan maengineer wenye kujua kazi za mikono. Wananyimwa hiyo nafasi kwa sababu wamepewa watu wengine, na wakipewa wao wanakuja na watu wao ambao wakikuja, mtansamee Mheshimiwa Speaker, mtansamee Kiswahili si mzoefu wa Kiswahili, lakini najaribu. Naomba unikubalie niweze kuchanganya.
Honourable member,
kali. Kwa hivyo ningeomba Mheshimiwa Speaker tupewe nafasi hiyo kama vijana wa taifa hili kuweza kuonyesha ujuzi wetu kama mainjinia humu ndani nchini, na ile fursa inayopewa watu wa nje wanyimwe, kwa sababu inatufanya sisi tunarudi nyuma kitaifa, madeni yanazidi, tunafaa kulipa, ushuru unazidi kutozwa na tunanyanyasika kama vijana. Na wanapoendelea kupatia fursa hiyo, wajue kuwa wakati wao utaisha na sisi vijana tutachukua nafasi hiyo, na wakimaliza wakati wao watakuwa wamemaliza vizuri, lakini changamoto inabaki kwetu sisi kama vijana. Kwa hivyo naomba hiyo itiliwe mkazo. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honourable Member. I want now to call the chair for group number 4, Honourable Khalif Mohammed, now that he stays more informed, to react to the raised concern.
Answer or clarify on the issue that has been raised by Honourable Member when my opportunity to present the report on education comes. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Let's proceed. Yes, Honourable.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My name is Abu Talib Mohammed, a member from Lamu County. And again, Mr. Speaker, I raise to bring to the attention of this House on the essence of youth innovation for sustainable climate. Madam Speaker, Kenya is well recognized by paleontologists globally as a hotbed of archaeological discoveries, contributing to the story of human evolution. Madam Speaker, the Turkana boy is none but a clear representation of the power of youths, not just here in Kenya, but the whole world. This shows how energetic and how visible the youths can be in the whole country and the world at large. Why this, Madam Speaker? I bring to the attention of this House the critical need to upgrade our heritage institutes across Kenya. These institutes, rich with traditional knowledge and cultural heritage, hold untapped potential for youth-driven innovation addressing climate change. I urge the government to not only invest in modernizing these institutions, but also actively collaborate with the numerous heritage hubs which have been currently formed from all the way from Turkana, Nairobi, Mombasa, and Lamu. These hubs are uniquely positioned to engage young people, fostering innovation approaches that marry our rich cultural heritage with sustainable climate action. By empowering our youth within these spaces, we can create solutions that are not only effective, but also deeply rooted in our heritage and values. Madam Speaker, I stand in front of this House to explain that Kenya as we are all about the culture and heritage that we have grown upon. Recently, Gedi ruins have been tabbed as a World Heritage Site, but how are we going to protect this heritage site, whereby the Turkana National Parks is currently tabbed as a World Heritage in danger? We need to empower the young people who have no knowledge of this kind of information so that they can be empowered and they can be the one responsible of restoring and managing this site, rather than giving the opportunity to people who are not interested in these matters. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. So, honorable members, let's address the issue of communication on the House concerning leadership. As you are aware, the honorable member had requested the Speaker to issue guidance on leadership of the House. I now want to communicate to the House that I have received the names from both majority and minority parties as follows. We have Honorable Ken Babu, leader of the majority. Please rise. We also have Honorable Khalifa Hussein, majority party whip. We have Honorable, thank you very much, Honorable Hussein. We also have Honorable Ikwa Momar, leader of the minority party. Thank you. We also have Honorable Salwa Katana, minority party whip. Thank you very much, and I congratulate all of you. And further now, I direct that the office of the clerk to facilitate their offices with the relevant technical staff, motor vehicles, and additional office space. So once again, I congratulate the new leadership of the House and wish them well. Thank you. Yes, the debate resumes. Yes, Honourable Sally.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I want to contribute to the motion, Youth Innovation for Climate Action. Madam Speaker, I wish to state that we cannot speak of climate action without speaking of food sovereignty. Kenya as a country, we have a very large tract of arable land, agricultural land, that we can invest in growing our own food. We cannot speak of adaptation to climate change without first fixing our food sovereignty as a country. Madam Speaker, I wish to state that in the wake of carbon trading and carbon markets, so many of our young farmers, so many of our poor farmers are forced out of poverty to lease their lands in order to facilitate carbon trading. Now, in as much as carbon trading is important to offset the emission of carbon dioxide, I wish to state that it doesn't make sense for us as farmers, for us as Kenyans, to invest more land into carbon credits and carbon trading while we have no food. Speaking of which, Madam Speaker, when we say young people are ready to take part in climate action, we mean it. However, the same is limited by a number of factors. One of the most important factors limiting young people participation in climate action is lack of ownership of land, Madam Speaker. It is almost humorous that as Kenyans, as young people who make up almost 70% of the population have no legal ownership of land. Now, it's not possible for us as young people to contribute to food sovereignty when we don't have that land to grow the same food. Madam Speaker, on my second point, according to the Kenyan National Adaptation Plan, almost 70% of the budget is allocated to mitigation, and only 30% is allocated to adaptation. As young people, it is our opinion that indeed climate change is here with us. And climate change is not changing. The effects will continue to be felt, and we all will bear the brunt. So it is our opinion that we should indeed invest more in climate adaptation as compared to mitigation. Why are we mitigating the effects when we know it is here to stay? So we need to have measures in place to ensure that we prepare ourselves, especially the young people, into adaptation of climate change in order to have that sustainable climate action. In my last point, Madam Speaker, we need to look into allocation of resources. And when I say allocation, I mean equitable allocation of resources. Kenya as a country has 47 counties. These 47 counties are unique and different given their geographical location and the size and the level of development. So when the government, when our leaders are allocating resources to mitigate or rather to adapt to changes in climate, it is really important that they consider the uniqueness of different locations. What we are telling the government is, as young people, give us the money accordingly, such that if a county is more developed, you give it less money. If a county is marginalized, you give it more money. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. I'll proceed to The Honourable Member from Kwale County, proceed.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Point of order. She was referring to me.
Are you from Kwale?
I'm from Lamu.
For gender sensitivity, let the Honourable Member speak, then you will proceed after that.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson, for protecting me. I've been raising my hand for quite some time and I was a bit getting angry, but finally you've seen me. I would like to first ask a question.
Thank you very much. Pardon me, I have to interrupt the debate at this time. Honourable Member from Kwale, please take your seat for a moment. I wish to... thank you very much. We need to go back to order number 7 statements, and I wish to recognize the arrival of Honourable Dr. Mohammed Al-Issa, Secretary General for Muslim World League, also Honourable Gitonga Mukunji. Kindly proceed with this section of the business of the House. Thank you.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Thank you. Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Mr. Kyle Magne, former Prime Minister, Norwegian, and founder of Oslo Center. His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Al-Issa, the Secretary General of Muslim World League. Finn Jerrold, the Executive Chair of Oslo Center. Azar Barak, the Speaker of Lamu County Assembly. Seth Komanza, Speaker of Kwale County. Mrs. Line Urban, Program. Honorable Members of Parliament and Senate. Honorable Members, good morning. Is it still morning? First is to welcome all of you to this amazing setup, and what a wonderful Saturday morning today to see, to be members of Parliament and Senate. And I would say if our Senate and National Assembly looked the way it is looking here today, with the young faces, we would be very happy. And I believe it's achievable. His Excellency Dr. Mohammed, I want to take this opportunity also to welcome you to the presence of the National Assembly. I believe you are here because you love to see a good change in this country. You love to see amazing development happening here, and the youth voice is getting heard. And I want to take this chance to actually, in a special way, thank the Oslo Center for according these young people a chance to actually feel what it is to be in the National Assembly. Many of us who are here, who are in the National Assembly, actually started like this, and today we are sitting in those positions. The partnership we have with Oslo Center and Kenya Young Members of Parliament is a partnership that is meant to ensure the voice of young people is heard, and it is actually heard loud and clear. And I want to say, whatever we are doing here today, the theme we have is not to end with this dialogue that we're having here. But the reason you can see members of Parliament here is because whatever we are saying has to end up in the floor of the House as either a policy statement or a motion or something that is going to be tangible and it is going to bring impact in this nation that we have here today. So I want to promise all of you, while you're debating, and I've listened to a few of you debate, I want to say you are already members of parliament, even if you have not been given a chance. Debate knowing that we are listening, we are going to ensure that this gets in the National Assembly and the Senate. Briefly, I want to introduce the organization called Kenya Members of Parliament Association. This is a caucus that is meant of young members of parliament below 40 years of age, and it has around 63 members of parliament and Senate, 10 members of the Senate. This is an organization that is supposed to ensure the young people of this country get their agendas in the flow of the House. And that is why we are partnering with Oslo Center to ensure that happens, and it is actually done, especially during this International Youth Week, so that we can get our country moving forward. Today's theme that actually reverberates very well with the status of things in the world, issues to do with climate action, poverty eradication, education. These are things that touch in the lives of our young people. It is an honor to stand before you today to explore the theme that holds immense promise and urgency. And I want to say that as we navigate through a rapid evolving world, it is increasingly clear that the solutions to our most pressing challenges will come not only from traditional avenues, but also from the fresh perspectives, boundless energy, and creative solutions offered by our young people. Today we celebrate the innovators who are leading the way, who are shattering obstacles and forging new paths in the quest for sustainable, equitable, and educated world. Climate action, igniting the green revolution, a cause that transcends borders and generations. The impacts of climate change are no longer a distant threat. They are present realities affecting ecosystems, economies, and communities. But within doubting challenge lies unprecedented opportunity for our young people through innovation. Young people around the world are at the forefront of climate activism, transforming their passion into powerful solutions, from developing cut-edge green technologies to pioneering grassroots movements. They are reshaping our approach to environmental stewardship, initiatives like use of drones for reforestation, AI, artificial intelligence, for predicting climate patterns, and community-led solar projects showcasing how youth are not only dreaming of a better future, but are actively creating it. Here in Kenya, we have a very ambitious plan of planting 16 billion trees. Interestingly, through technology that is being monitored day in, day out, through an application that has been actually developed by our young people today, called Jazamiti, to ensure that geologically we can locate those trees, we can know what trees are they, and we can even count how that is going. And I believe that is something that we need to applaud. Young members of parliament have also taken it very seriously with a lot of initiatives. Personally, we have already done over 100,000 trees in my constituency of Manyatta through the young people initiatives and through groups that are actually making sure this happens. The essence of youth-led climate action is not merely into technology or strategies employed, but in the spirit of inclusivity and collective action. Youth are breaking down barriers by engaging diverse communities, fostering collaborations, and ensuring that climate solutions are accessible to all. This holistic approach is what will drive meaningful change and ensure our world is greener, is better as we move forward. Let me talk a little bit about poverty eradication. And I believe poverty in Africa, not only in Kenya, but has affected youths more than any other demographic of life. Turning our attention, it is crucial to acknowledge that while significant progress has been made, the fight against poverty is far from over. Youth are playing a transformative role in poverty eradication. They are redefining what it means, not just through charity, but through innovation. Youth-led startups are creating economic opportunities by leveraging technology to provide affordable healthcare, improve access to education, and empower small entrepreneurs. Social enterprises and digital platforms are actually bridging the gap in financial inclusion, in enabling people to access resources and market previously out of reach. We actually have to wake up to and smell the coffee. Why many of our young people were in the streets during weekdays is because our young people don't have jobs. You cannot show up in the streets if you have a job. You cannot show up on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It is because of lack of opportunities that our young people are actually in the streets. And I believe every leader, our stakeholders, our supporters, our friends from all over the world have a role to play to ensure we actually eradicate poverty, we provide opportunities, and we ensure that this world has a chance for every young person. A good example is what we have done in my place in Manyatta. We have young people called Beba Beba. These are young people who just carry things around the market, and they are paid very few coins. But these guys, I gave them 100,000 Kenya shillings, and today they own a hotel that is actually a dependence of everybody in the market that is supposed to go and eat there. If we are able to actually empower people through giving them a chance to get even credit, then we can transform this country. We actually need to know that the digital platforms that even the government is talking about, we need a paradigm shift. There is no need of content moderation only as a source of what we are calling digital labor. We need to improve and ensure that local solutions, local digital solutions, we don't need Uber to come from America and work here. We need Uber from Kenya so that many people can get opportunities from here. And that is what we want to redefine and ensure we push. And we are going to lead from the front, from the National Assembly and the Senate. Youth-led startups are creating economic opportunities by leveraging technology, and that is what we need to support. Moreover, young innovators are addressing poverty through novel approaches to social equity and justice. They are advocating for systematic change, pushing for policies that address the root cause of poverty and ensure that the voices of the marginalized are heard and amplified. It is obvious that the demonstrations that are calling for change in government were more vibrant on X and on TikTok. And those are very important issues that we have to actually embrace moving forward. And I remember, as I said, moving forward, even our campaign strategies are going to change. We are going to be campaigning more on TikTok and on X because that is where our young people are. Let me talk about education and perhaps most profound catalyst for change. Education equips individuals with knowledge and skills to address complex issues and seize opportunities. Yet, as we strive for universal access to quality education, it is clear that traditional systems alone are insufficient to meet the needs of today's diverse and dynamic world. Here, youth are leading the change also. Innovative educational models such as online learning platforms, gamified learning experiences, and community-based education programs are transforming how education is delivered and accessed. Young leaders are advocating for educational reforms that emphasize critical thinking, creativity, emotional intelligence, and I believe we actually as government need to do more and ensure education is accessible. Sadly, there is a lot of changes happening in this sector that requires more community engagement. Among them is a new funding model in our universities. And I believe on Tuesday we are going to have Mukunji, led by the Speaker of the National Assembly, to discuss the way forward on the new funding model. Many of our young people are frustrated. They don't know how the model works, and we actually can't blame the young people. We have to blame ourselves for not having this information out there in time. We actually need to embrace social media, TikTok, Facebook, X, so that information can take to young people, so that they are not frustrated and not knowing how much money they are supposed to pay for them to access education, especially high-level education. The CBC system, which is actually one of the systems that we have embraced as a country, requires more funding. And those are things that we have to work on and ensure they deliver for our people. Youth-led initiatives are also breaking barriers by creating education opportunities for marginalized groups, ensuring that learning is inclusive and equitable. These efforts are not just about expanding access, but also redefining education to meet the evolving demand of our global society. I call upon our partners all over the world to ensure we benchmark on this more, so that we can know what happens in Saudi, what happens in Norway, and ensure that we get a system that is able to work for our young people. In conclusion, as we reflect on these themes, climate action, poverty eradication, and education, it becomes evident that the innovations driven by youth are not just incremental improvement, but profound shift in how to address these challenges. They are breaking barriers, dismantling outdated paradigms, and constructing the future that is sustainable, equitable, and enlightened. To all the young innovators and leaders present here today, your work is invaluable, and your impact is far-reaching. You are the architects of our future, where boundaries are just crossed, but transformed. Your creativity, resilience, and determination are the key to unlocking the world where every individual can thrive. Let us support and champion these efforts. Let us be inspired by the limitless potential of youth innovation. Together, we can break down barriers and build a better world for generations to come. And as I normally say, form ni kujituma, which means you have to wake yourself up, push yourself until things happen. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Now, I want to recognize members who are here, briefly, Your Excellency, for a minute or two, so that you can also have them say something to these young people before I invite you, Your Excellency. Let me start with Honourable Doris Donya, the County Women Representative of Kisii County.
Thank you, Chair, and all protocol observed. I'm very excited first to be here as a young Member of Parliament, because I believe in connection. When you get connected, the next thing you get is development, because connections are key. When we were campaigning, we were told you have to get connected to your people. That we have already done. We got connected to them. They've brought us to Parliament. Now we are getting connected with friends so that we give back development to them. As I speak here, Kisii County is fond of gender-based violence and other counties. FGM is very key. Teen pregnancy. If you don't talk about something, be rest assured no one will know it. I've made it to be my agenda to discuss FGM from Kisii. I've even sponsored a bill in Parliament to promote national public awareness so that we can take care of our young girls. Thank you very much. If I'm given an opportunity, I can talk until tomorrow on issues to do with women. But for now, thank you, our chair and honorable members. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's also have Honourable Lillian Sigoi, County Women Representative, Trans Nzoia County.
Thank you. Let me correct. My name is not Sigoi. I am Lillian Sioi. Yeah, thank you. I'm Lillian Sioi, MP Trans Nzoia County, and I'm happy to be here today. I am pleased with the Youth Assembly Plenary because I understand that all of you knows what has been transpiring in our county. And if we have youths, especially the Youth Assembly, because I realized there is a disconnect between our policies, the government policies, and even our constitution, of which there is no country that can run without a constitution. And to me, the constitution comes first before any other thing, because if we cannot follow the constitution, then we will have no laws and people can do anything that they want to do in this world. So I want to pray and hope that the Youth Assembly is going to get enough funding so they can help us educate our youths, other youths in the villages. Because us as leaders, probably maybe our message cannot get into their heads because they feel we are the ones carrying what belongs to them. But because you are their fellow youths who are not elected leaders, probably you could be our ambassadors to carry the message to our youths and ensure that we are at par. Thank you so much.
Let's also have the Honourable Senator Crystal Asige, nominated Senator in charge of PWDs.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. Members, good morning and happy International Youth Week to all. My name is Senator Crystal Asige, and yes, I am nominated to represent persons with disabilities and special interest groups. However, because I am also a woman and I'm also a youth, I fall into all of these three demographics. And in fact, Chair and members, when I first came into Parliament in 2022, I was told that I was the first and only person who has ever fallen into all of the three demographics. So I have a very big burden on my shoulders, Chair. And in that respect, I would love to add on to your brilliant speech and say that innovation and equitability as well as accessibility also should not forget persons with disabilities. I am very strong, very, very passionate about advocating for the rights of PWDs, and that is why, Chair and members, I have 4 bills currently that I've passed at the National Assembly level, which strive to make this nation more inclusive and equitable and accessible to persons with disabilities. Because the bottom line is, Chair, that if you ignore disability, then you ignore amazing opportunities at innovation. I'll give you just one example as I finish. Chair and members, did you know that text messaging was actually born out of an innovation or a solution for deaf people? In the 1980s, Chair, there was no text messaging. If some of you remember, maybe your parents will tell you that you used to have the rotary phones where you had to dial and go around like this, and there was nothing like text messaging. However, there was a human being who was trying to communicate with his friend who was deaf. And because there was nothing at the time to be able to communicate with a deaf friend of his, he innovated text messaging, an application or a feature where you could type your message instead of trying to call somebody. And since then, Chair, text messaging has gone the world over, and right now, all of us here, whether you're disabled or non-disabled, use it as if it is our lifeline. We use it absolutely everywhere, and that is an example of how disability can help to innovate, not just for the disabled community, but for everyone. The same is true, Chair, for keyboards. Keyboards were invented to act as a solution for visually impaired people who could not write with a pen and paper. And we all now use keyboards, as well as things like the electric toothbrush, which was invented to help those who cannot hold a toothbrush properly in their hands because of limited mobility. And the electric toothbrush was also invented. Similar to audiobooks, who are invented for people like myself, who are visually impaired and cannot read like the rest of you can read with your eyesight. So, Chair, I would like to urge all members here, as you continue innovating, as you continue championing and advocating, do not forget the biggest minority group in this entire world, which is about 1.3 billion people who are persons with disabilities. And in Kenya, we're over 1 million of us. And please do not, in your counties, in your innovations, in your bills, proposals, motions, statements, do not forget persons with disabilities, because we are a large community that have been forgotten for far too long. And as we know, just like youth are saying, don't leave the youth behind, but persons with disabilities are also saying, do not leave PWDs behind. I thank you very much.
Wow. Let's have Senator Ezena, who is also our treasurer in Kenya Young Members of Parliament Association.
Thank you, Chair. Honourable leaders and members, honourable members of Parliament, good afternoon. So I am Senator Ezena Lemalitian from Samburu County, the youth senator, and I am also the treasurer of KYPA. But I'm very happy today to be part of this meeting or initiative, because I was told one thing some time ago, that you cannot change the system from outside. You have to get into the system to change the system. So when we realize, as the majority constituency, which I represent in this country, making up 75% of our total population as the youth, we realize that a lot of times our voices are not heard. And the only way to do that is to get into the system. That is the very thing that led me into politics, because I wanted for my fellow youth to have a voice through me. And the last time we were in these chambers, we were meeting several groups of youth organizations. And if you followed keenly, I had presented before the floor all the recommendations and the job you gave me to do. So I am your servant. We need a collaborative approach for all of us to participate in ensuring that our fellow young people in this country participate in politics and the political processes. We have seen that we have a lot of influence online, but you also realize that a lot of us young Kenya Young Parliamentarians Association members thought we would perform a lot of miracles while in government. But it turns out we have a lot we are going against. We are going against the grain, basically, to ensure that we achieve what our fellow youth want out there. And you, being members of the Youth Assembly, the young parliamentarians out there, are a linkage between us who are now being blanketed as politicians and the citizens out there who are your fellow young people. And as my sister Honourable Lilian Sioi said, that we are depending on you to ensure that that linkage is sufficient enough, so that there is no disconnect between us and the fellow youth at the grassroots. It is important that we continue meeting, we continue, relating out there, stay close to us, we stay close to you, so that you can be able to see what is working and what is not working. And that way you won't be blaming young parliamentarians saying that we are not performing miracles. Because once we are united as the youth of Kenya, we are able to move mountains. But if we allow politics of tribalism, politics of religion or anything else to divide us, just know that's how the system wants to manage us. And once we are being managed and divided, they have their way, right? We have our say and they have their way. But what are we really interested in? We are interested in ensuring that we achieve sustainable change. Sindio, thank you so much.
Wow. Your Excellency, it will not be complete to talk about leadership when we talk only of National Assembly and Senate without touching on a very key governance structure called the county government. Here with us today, His Excellency, we have the Speaker of County Assembly of Lamu. Please say something for just 1 minute. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Your Excellency, Dr. Mohammed, distinguished guests, good afternoon. It is an honor to stand before you today as the Speaker of Lamu County Assembly, addressing the bright and ambitious young leaders of our country. Your presence here reflects the hope and promise of a future where Kenyan thrives under the guidance of informed, engaged, and passionate youth. Today we gather not just to debate about leadership, climate change, and governance, but to chart the course for a new era in coastal Kenya and Africa at large, where our young people are not just participants, but leaders, shaping policies and decisions that impact our country and beyond. Leadership is not a title or a position, it is a responsibility. It is about serving others, making tough decisions, and always striving for the greater good. You, the young people, are the steward of our future. Your voices, ideas, and action will determine the direction of our country. Leadership also demands courage. The courage to speak up, to challenge the status quo, and to pursue what is right, even when it is difficult. As Gen Zs and all of us, we must be the torchbearer of integrity, transparency, and inclusivity in governance. Our country needs your energy, your vision, and your commitment to building a Kenya that is prosperous, peaceful, and just. I am a live example of how young people can transform into a greatness in this nation when properly guided by our seniors. I joined politics in 2005 during the referendum initiative for constitutional reforms as a youth representative, and later turned to be an elected councillor of Shela Ward in Lamu. Thereafter, elected as an MCA for 3 consecutive times, and today standing before you as the Speaker of Lamu County. I was very young and aggressive, but always guided by mentors, one of them being Right Honourable Raila Odinga, my party leader. During this journey, I have contributed positively and actively to various policies and served several committees within the Assembly and national platforms. As a lesson learned throughout my leadership is that as you step into leadership roles, remember that you are not alone. You have the support of your peers, mentors, and the community. But more importantly, you have the power to inspire and uplift others. Use this power wisely, lead with compassion, listen with open mind, and govern with fairness. My aspiration as a speaker is to make sure 70% of the people I work with are young people. I have walked the talk by employing 7 young people out of 8 since I became the Speaker of Lamu County Assembly. One of them being the one and only graduate from the minority community from the minority and marginalized community called the Awir community, known as Boni community. And I look forward to providing more opportunities for youth, all in spirit of inclusive governance. In close, I urge you to seize the opportunities before you. Engage actively in the processes of governance Advocate for positive change and always strive to leave Kenya better than you found it. The future of our country is in your hand, and I have no doubt that it is a future filled with promise and progress.
Thank you.
God bless all of us. God bless Kenya. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker of Lamu County. I hope the Speaker for Kwale County will be a little bit more brief, but let's give him a chance of a few minutes.
Good morning. With the serious protocol here in, I am Seth Mwatela Kamanza, Speaker for Kwale. I don't want to take much of the time because I'm also seeing the time is not on our side. I want to say that I take pride with the youth that are before us here. And I want to say that I'm also a product of the Nelson Mandela leadership program through YALI. And right now, it made me be here where we are today. I want to affirm this congregation that when I go back to Kwale, I will take the leadership role for the youth of Kwale and the Kwale Youth Assembly to ensure that I am the lead in that program. Therefore, I want to assure the Oslo Center, the leadership is going to take this mantle, and we are going back to our fellow youths so that we become a voice for all the youths in Kwale and the coastal region. Therefore, I want to say thank you for this great opportunity. And I want to tell and challenge all our youths herein that this is the new beginning for us as youth. Let's not take this position and we sit back. Let's go back to our counties and ensure that we engage our youth so that we become the national voice for all the youths in this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will continue with the protocol. I want to recognize Mrs. Line Urban, Programs Manager, EU. Welcome for a minute.
Thank you very much. All protocols observed. I was not really expecting to speak, but of course I'm happy to. I'm here as one of the staff from the European Union. Unfortunately, our ambassador could not be here this morning. But as you know, in Europe, we have a lot of experience in parliaments and a lot of members in parliaments along or across Europe, particularly in Scandinavia. I'm also Scandinavian, are actually young people. When I went to university, I was sitting next to many politicians, for instance, the current foreign minister who is expected to be a new commissioner in the new commission that will be formed in Europe or at the European Union level in November. I was sitting next to our finance minister in many classes because in Denmark, if you don't enter politics when you're young, you don't have a chance to enter later. And when you turn 80, you have to leave the youth party in Denmark and join the real mature party. So youth politics in many countries in Europe are for those that are between 12, 13 up to they turn 18. But I can understand that in Kenya you have another bracket and understanding of that young people in Kenya constitute more than 80% of the population, but still the influence and the voice of this large majority in the population is very often not heard very strongly. I think for the European Union it's very important to encourage young people. And I think all of you that are here also carry a very strong mandate to encourage your peers, friends, fellows, classmates to also engage in politics in your home counties and wherever you meet them, to have a voice, to express their opinion and not to be afraid to sit back. And I would appeal to all of you to listen very well to what other speakers have said before, particularly what the Speaker of Lamu said, that you have a very strong responsibility towards some of the demands of the Gen Z, of ensuring accountability, transparency, that resources are used much more efficiently in Kenya, because this was some of their key demands. I will leave it at here, and thank you very much for letting me speak. Thank you very much for inviting me. It has been very nice to be here and see how you operate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's also hear from Mr. Finn Road, the Executive Chair.
Thank you. Your Excellency, former Prime Minister of Norway, Mr. Bondevik, Chair, Senator, Members of Parliament, Speakers of Lamu County, Honourable Members of the Youth Assembly. My name is Finn. I am from Norway, partial Kenyan. I lived there for 5 years, so I am with you. I'm not young, but I'm youngish in my head. I understand your energy, and I like it.
Still young.
Thank you. It's needed. It's needed not only in Kenya, but globally. The Oslo Center is so proud to initiate this activity in Kenya. We came to Kenya in 2015 with this program because we knew there was young people in Kenya that would lift this youth assembly activity to be heard beyond the border of your country. You know, some of you came with me to Paris in 2019, where this activity was awarded the best youth activity globally, honored by the President of France. So that's how far it came. I want to respond to the Member of Parliament. I'm here today, this week, with His Excellency as our partner in the activities that we are doing in Kenya. We are here today to dialogue with you and to assure you that what we bring will be extended, will be increased, will not only be on the coast of Kenya, but will come to more counties. That is my promise. This will bring Kenya forward to lead not only in East Africa, but for Africa and globally, as innovators, as smart young people that want to be guided. Because you understand that guidance is part of the process. Don't be told what to do. Reflect and listen, decide and do. That is what we expect from you. So from today on, please be part of this. Be part of the young energy of Kenya. Be part of that numerous amounts of individuals that will bring further prosperity to your country. We will support you, but we will never stand in your way. Thank you so much. Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Thank you, Chair, for having us here today.
Thank you very much. Let's hear from the former Prime Minister of Norway and the founder of Oslo Center, Mr. Kyle Magna. I hope I've done your name justice. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, dear members of this Youth Assembly, it's an honor to address you, Mr. Speaker. I have followed Kenya over so many years. I was there for the first time back in 1972, before most of you were born, I assume, and followed the work of the Norwegian Peace Corps in this country. And after that, always have followed Kenya with deep interest, and I love to come back to this beautiful country. And I'm so impressed by how you are organizing your work in this Youth Assembly. It's very well organized. You are specific on the issues on the agenda. And I think you are really to the core of the challenges of the future of not only Kenya, but the whole world. When you focus on climate action, on eradication of poverty, and on education. Because climate action are needed to avoid the damage of our common planet. It's about our future. I can tell you that as Prime Minister in the year 2000, I had on my table a question of building up CO2 polluting gas power plants. And that was in conflict with our obligation for climate action. So I made it clear that if this will be approved by the Parliament, I will step down. I cannot be responsible for doing that. The Parliament made the decision to build up these polluting power plants. I took the consequence. I stepped down. I think it's the first time that the Prime Minister has stepped down because of a climate action case. I got very much support, especially from the young people of Norway. So I was re-elected as Prime Minister a year later. Education and eradication of poverty is that important, because for me it has to do with human dignity. Every human being deserves to have the daily food on the table. I was appointed by former Secretary General Kofi Annan to be special humanitarian envoy to the Horn of Africa for some years. It's now 15 years back since that. And then I traveled around of the countries at the Horn, and we made out a plan of food security for this region, because this is a crucial point for you. And I'm aware of the challenge. And last but not least, education. I was also Minister of Education in Norway. Now it's 40 years back. And I had as a platform for my work that there are two main needs for all development. It is health and education. I repeat it always, health and education. Without health, good health, you cannot do anything. And you are not a resource for your country. Without education, it's very limited what you can do. So these two are the basic needs for all development. And you have put education on your agenda. I congratulate you for that. And I congratulate you for the excellent work you are doing. It's really promising for the future of Kenya. You are in a challenging time with uprise of young people. I do hope, as a founder of the Oslo Center, that our center can contribute to bring more young people into decision-making processes, because you are not the future of Kenya. You are an important part of today's Kenya. So you deserve to have an influence, and I wish you all success in your further endeavors.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the former Prime Minister. And I didn't know you resigned and you are re-elected. That is very good. Well, I want to now invite our chief guest, His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Abdul Al Ether, of the Muslim League. Please, honorable members, help me in welcoming His Excellency.
Speaker of the Parliament, members of the Parliament, of young parliamentarians as well, members of the Senate, Mr. Bondovic, Mr. Finn, I would like to express my delight, my extreme delight of this meeting in this parliament, and my extreme delight when I meet with young people and the youth when they are expressing their opinions, which are fruitful, and their opinions that are the agent of change. When we are talking about young people, then we are talking about the future. We are talking about hope. We are talking about vitality, about energy, about power. We are talking about the current context. We are talking about the ability to bring about positive change. We are talking about determination. And that's why we must have an effective understanding, and not just discussions and dialogue that is mere in its nature. We have to have an effective concept of enabling young people, to making young people partners in decision making and partners in the decision making process, and especially in making the governance, the national governance, making them part of that, and then making them partners in the national vision of the country. We must engage in dialogue with young people, and this dialogue needs to be fruitful and tangible and palpable on the ground, and not just dialogue that is passing in nature. The membership for the young people is very important, and that's why in the councils, in the councils and parliaments, the presence of young people is always effective and fruitful, and brings about change in improving many of the national issues, be it social, economic, and other issues. And also, we must look to the obstacle of enabling young people, and we should seek out these obstacles. Excluding young people in national work, it's a backward trend in any country. And these obstacles must be studied and overcome. And there are international obstacles which are common among all countries, and they are national, specific to some countries, these obstacles. We must also evaluate the statistics which are coming from the United Nations. United Nations have issued statistics related to young people, be it in education or their participation in the national level or other fields. And these statistics in some of their trends are very worrying, and there need to be and evaluation on how these statistics can be rectified that represent the obstacle facing young people, and most of the problems facing people, which is of course deprivation from education. In other words, of course, deprivation from effective education. And this is a big problem in many of the countries of the world, and there are many reasons for that, be it war and of course poverty and of family situation in the domestic level and so on, and deprivation of young people. And also in specific, there is also a deprivation of girls from education just because of their gender as girls, and this is a big threat for the future of young people and their impact on their countries and on the global level. Young people, they must be among the peacemakers of the world, and they should be among the peacemakers of harmony in their national societies. Young people, according to statistics, according to studies, they are the agents of understanding change, and they are the most capable of finding changes of the variables of this world. When young people contribute in overcoming problems with innovation, then we sense their excitement, their power, and their impact on the change and on reform. Young people, they also enjoy, also with the other than young people, they enjoy being seriousness, being excited, and that's why we must leverage the young people and their excitement, and they have the mental capability and physical capability that we must leverage for the betterment of the world. We at the Muslim World League, we give a special care for young people from all nationalities and from all ethnicities and from all cultures, because we see it as a human obligation. We see it as a human duty upon us that we should engage in. Today I'm proud to meet with young people of Kenya, and I've heard many things about young people of Kenya, and that they are capable and they have the capacity, and they are open towards others, and they have love for others, and this is something brought a lot of joy to my heart. I'm today proud that to meet the young people of Kenya in this meeting. I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you today, and I'll pray to God for you to grant you success here.
Honourable members, before I wish to proceed, the order of the House, the business of the House, which was initially interrupted because of our very able delegation which is here with us. And before I call for the member who was on the floor, I wish also to thank the delegation who addressed this noble House on my behalf and on behalf of the National Youth Assembly. Thank you, and we wish you to still be with us so that we conclude this fruitful engagement. The member who was on the floor, kindly proceed.
Thank you so much. All protocols observed. I am Honourable Pauline Amoso de Guerre from Kwale Youth Assembly. I would like to add my contribution on the adoption of policy proposal addressing climate action. I think one of it was Youth Innovation for Dialogue. We understand the country was facing an uprising just a few weeks ago. So I'm calling for the government to call for a dialogue between us, and we cannot afford to lose this country. We are the young people, and we have shown that the dynamics of this country depend on us. To add on climate change, I understand that this country, climate change is a global pandemic. We are facing a climate crisis in this country, and I'm urging the House to adopt the recommendation that have been submitted by my chairperson. Kwale County is 80% is a semi-arid country, is a semi-arid region. I'm speaking on the context of Kwale County. It's a semi-arid region. We cannot just be telling farmers to keep on planting trees. We will have food insecurity. We will have malnutrition in this country. So I will urge this House adopt on sustainable methods on how we can fight climate change, at the same time fight hunger, which falls on the cause of poverty eradication. We cannot be telling farmers to plant trees, yet they don't have food. We cannot be leasing out lands, yet they don't have enough land to plant food. So I'm in support of this motion, supporting the Attorney General from Lamu Youth Assembly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honourable Member. Yes, Honourable Kenya, proceed to the floor of the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and all protocols observed. I want to comment on a report that was tabled to this House by Honourable Lawrence, and it was so touching that for the last 62 years, this nation has struggled to settle problems on the 4 pillars, which include food security, health, infrastructure, and education. And he asked a very important question: is it a problem of policies, framework, or it is because of corruption? And I'm here to tell you something. You are the members that decide what this country, the direction that this country will take. And as members of this House, if you really mean the best for this nation, I'm kindly requesting each one of you to have a different perspective, where we need to make amendments on Article 28 of the 2010 Kenyan Constitution on issues that deal with political rights. And these, on my recommendations, are that any leader who is under taxpayers' money should be compelled to flow with the Vision 2030 recommendations and framework, and not come up with different priorities rather than the Vision 2030 and its recommendations. Let us, as members of the House, avoid and allow people to dilute this vision with other exploitative agendas. And I'm sorry to mention this, like the Hustlers Fund.
Your time is up, Honourable Member. Kindly conclude.
And as I conclude, I've seen everyone and I've heard everyone saying that it's an issue of policy change. I wish to tell you that we can only change this nation if we change the policies.
Thank you. May take your chair. Yes, Honourable Barker, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I raise to contribute my iterating this preferred motion on the issue of quality education, especially on special needs. It's unfortunate our government has not put any measures to help children with disabilities. And I think our government should adopt some policies to pass a law to make sure every teacher should have knowledge on special need education. And also, every school should include every child with special needs, so we stop the cases of stigma. As Honourable Gitonga Mukunji has said, form ni kujituma. I'm a Gen Z from Kwale County, Mr. Speaker, and I've broken the barrier to quality education for children with special needs by establishing a school where I'm supporting over 472 children with special needs, and also empowering the caregivers. With this, you'll be able to make them financially stable and also reduce violence at home. And through that, I'm It's unfortunate we have not discussed about the issue of health, because when you're talking about special needs, include health. And in my school, we have a clinic where we attend the children, where we have full-time nurse during the day and also during the night. And because of that, I invite stakeholders, donors, organizations to my school, so we can see how we're going to help children with disabilities in Kwale County and also nationality. And also invite my fellow youth from different parts of the county to come borrow a leaf or to benchmark, so we'll be able to support all children with disability.
Thank you.
With that, we'll be able to have a generation of stigma will end with us. Otherwise, the other children will grow knowing that to be the way they are, will not discriminate children living with disabilities.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, honorable members. Yes, Honorable Khalfan, the floor. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to support the proposal of this policy on climate action. And as we dive into the heart of today's discussion, honorable members.
Sorry, honorable member, it's out of order to speak twice. So kindly, I was not aware. So kindly take your chair. Yes, Honorable Eji from the Kwale County. You can use the mic near you. Yes. And before I proceed, I also wish to remind this House that if you have contributed to this motion, it is within the standing order that you contribute it once, and you have only 2 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this particular opportunity. First of all, I would like to congratulate you, Mr. Speaker, for being elected as the Speaker to serve this particular House. Despite being one of the most vocal and vibrant campaigners for the opposition team. And Mr. Speaker, you know I am a very truthful person, Mr. Speaker, and a very straightforward person by now. I just humbly request, Mr. Speaker, that with whatever I'm going to say, Mr. Speaker, you please protect me from the members, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed. Please,
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I look at today's motion on breaking barriers, youth innovation for dialogue and climate action, there are various thematic areas that I'm tempted to talk about. But, Mr. Speaker, it will be unjust if I won't talk about poverty. Mr. Speaker, as I stand here today, I can say I have been a victim or I've been testing this cruelty of poverty, Mr. Speaker, and I am not embarrassed. Mr. Speaker, as I stand here, I understand that we have a very long way to go as youth to make sure that the issue on poverty, we actually curb it, Mr. Speaker. Poverty is not just lack of resources, Mr. Speaker. It is a threat, Mr. Speaker, that steals hope, it steals dignity, and it steals people's dream, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is the silent force that crushes potentials of very young people and stifles ambitions, Mr. Speaker. But let me be clear in this particular, at this particular juncture, Mr. Speaker, that poverty is not a fate we must accept, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, no one is a friend to poverty. It is our common enemy, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to say this.
Honorable Member, I think you only have 1 second to conclude.
I even haven't given the solution, Mr. Speaker. Kindly, this would just
you should have planned
Mr.
your address.
Point of order,
well.
Mr. Speaker.
Who is raising the point of order? Yes, what is your point of order?
Honorable Speaker, I beg that you explain to the members the meaning of the green light and the red light so that we are not confused. So that when you see the green light, know that you exactly have a minute and the red light 30 seconds. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, honorable members. Okay, for the purposes of this house, when you see the green light at the clerk's desk, it means that you only have 1 minute to conclude your point. And as you see the red light at the clerk's desk, it means you only have 30 seconds to take your chair. Thank you. So for you, take your chair.
Mr. Speaker, kindly
Honorable member, kindly take your chair. Honorable Omar, kindly proceed to the floor of the House. Yes, Honorable member, take your chair.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Omar, can you proceed to the floor of the House?
Okay. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker. Na kwanza naomba nichukue fursa hii nimpongeze sana Mheshimiwa Rais kwa kazi nzuri anayoifanya. Kama kwetu vijana mengi tumelalamika kwa ufupi na kwa haraka haraka ametoa suluhu ya matatizo yetu kama vijana. Tunashukuru sana Mheshimiwa Rais popote ulipo. Pili ningetaka kumpongeza Mheshimiwa Waziri Salim Mvurya kwa kuteuliwa tena kama waziri.
Honorable member, sorry, it is out of order. You go directly and contribute because you only have 2 minutes. Contribute to the motion.
Ndio Mheshimiwa Speaker, naomba unilindie muda wangu. Naam. Kisha naomba nichukue fursa hii kumwomba waziri anayehusika katika masuala mazima yanayohusiana na vijana. Viongozi tunaoona hapa katika mifumo ya bunge la vijana mashinani wanafanya kazi ngumu zenye mateso. Kazi ambazo ningewaomba kwa niaba ya vijana wote wanaofanya shughuli hizi, serikali wachukue nafasi kuona ni namna gani vijana hawa wanawekwa katika bajeti ya serikali. Pili, katika kuchangia kuhusiana masuala mazima yanayohusiana na climate change. Sisi kama vijana wa Kwale tunajua umuhimu wa masuala mazima yanayohusiana na mikoko. Tunajua namna gani mikoko inavyovuta kaboni katika anga zetu na inachangia pakubwa katika kuhakikisha tunapiga hatua katika masuala mazima na climate change. Akina mama, vijana wa Kwale, vijana wa Lamu wanafanya bidii sana katika upandaji wa mikoko. Lakini mikoko hii,
point of order, Mr. Speaker.
What is your point of order?
The clerk's desk bulbs were on.
I think that is within my description. Kindly, Chair.
Point of order.
Thank you.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Who is raising the point of order?
Yeah.
Yes, Alex. Honorable Alex.
Okay, I just want to confirm, because I have seen some members here speaking in Kiswahili. Just want to confirm if our guests, the whites, those gadgets are translating into. Are you getting what they are speaking? Yes. So let us use English because those gadgets can translate in that language. Thank you.
Thank you for raising that
point of order.
Point of order. But however, I believe that as per the standing order of this House, we will allow members to speak English and Swahili. So kindly, the delegates who are here, I think the House can organize for translators so that they can also be part of this conversation. Thank you very much.
Mheshimiwa Speaker,
as you conclude,
naomba kwanza nilindiwe muda wangu tena. Mheshimiwa Speaker, naomba nieleze kuwa katika masuala mazima yanayohusiana na mikoko kwanza huhifadhi kaboni tofauti na miti ya kawaida. Hivyo basi nilikuwa najaribu kueleza namna gani vijana katika sehemu ya Kwale na Lamu wanavyofanya juhudi hizi katika masuala mazima na mikoko. Changizo langu ni kuhusiana na mashirika yanayokuja.
Honorable member, I think your time is up and I see a lot of hands in
Naomba
this.
nimalize basi changizo yangu tafadhali.
Yes, as you conclude. 1 second.
Na katika ninachojaribu kueleza ni kuwa mashirika yanapokuja yanafanya bidii kuwatumia vijana katika kuomba pesa za donors. Mheshimiwa Speaker, katika uhifadhi huu wa mikoko vijana wetu hawafaidiki kimaslahi yoyote. Naomba bunge hili lione namna gani tunaweza tengeneza mikakati wanapokuja mashirika kwa ajili ya kufanya uhifadhi wa mikoko ambao unasaidia pakubwa katika climate change, waone ni namna gani vijana wetu wa Kwale na Lamu wanaweza faidika. Asante sana
Thank you.
Mheshimiwa
You might
Speaker.
take your chair. Honourable members, I see that we all have something to contribute to this motion, but for the purposes of the time, may I now call the mover to reply to the motion.
Honourable Speaker, all guests, all honourables, all protocols observed, I first and foremost wish to thank the honourable members of the House for their robust contributions to this debate. Honourable Speaker, as the mover, but also a representative of youths and people living with disabilities in Lamu and Kenya at large, I have a few recommendations in regards to the policies that we have just addressed. If I may, Mr. Speaker, I'll just go very fast. And in regards to poverty, in Kenya, we have around 17 million of youths and people living with disabilities, but only 31.45% and 7.6% respectively goes to the employment. And Mr. Speaker, in terms of recommendation, I just wish to call for expansion of social protection programs such as disability allowances and livelihood support schemes to reach these undeserved communities, Mr. Speaker. Again, on climate, I wish to highlight the disproportionate impact of climate change on marginalized groups, including youths and people living with disabilities who often lack the resources and support to adapt. I also wish to advocate for the inclusion of disability-inclusive and youth-focused strategies in Kenya's climate change policies and programs. Last but not least, on education, Mr. Speaker, I wish to call for integration of climate change, entrepreneurship, and life skill education to be integrated into the curriculum, Mr. Speaker. The various committees spent the whole day yesterday at a workshop to deliberate on the policy actions that have been put forward. We look forward to having the executive implement the policies presented. The Committee on Implementation will in 6 months engage the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Environment to monitor the level of implementation of these proposals. Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to reply. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So before I put a question, those members who are making their way, kindly take your chairs. Now, honorable members, I put a question that this House adopt a policy proposal addressing climate action, education, and poverty education, laid on this table of this House on Saturday, 17th August 2024. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order. Adjournment. Honorable members, the time being 1 p.m., this House stand adjourned since
down here. On us, we are going to have a photo session downstairs. So let's proceed there. Let's proceed there.
Well done.
Thank you.
Right. This session was meant for you to be heard. We had a lot of things from the constituency as well to address.
When young people are empowered, they have the ability to take on decision-making processes that lead to transformation of the communities. Unlike before such interventions, like the youth assemblies, we are now the change makers. The youths are the leaders of tomorrow. No. The youths are the leaders of today.
I want to become a leader.
It's our time.
Vijana tunaweza.
My story begins in one of the semi-arid villages of Samburu, Kwale County. As I turn in my office chair, I reflect on how far I've come, and I can only say, this far, he is Ebenezer. Daring remains to be the story of my life.
Leadership is a continuous journey, learned and adapted by each generation, bringing unique perspectives and diverse experiences essential for the development of our shared future. In this spirit, the Oslo Center, a non-profit organization, is committed to advancing democratization and democratic governance globally. Institutionalization of citizen participation and meaningful engagement in decision-making processes is the cornerstone of her interventions at subnational and national levels. In Kenya, the Oslo Center's commitment is exemplified through the implementation of affirmative action provisions in the Constitution via the Youth Assembly's program launched in Mombasa County in 2015 and later expanded to Kwale and Lamu counties.
I've been a member of the Kwale Youth Assembly since its inception in 2019.
In the heart of Lamu, a remarkable transformation has begun as a result of the Oslo Center's Youth Assembly. The narrative is shifting from having uninvolved youth now participating in development matters that affect them.
The Noble Assembly of Lamu started in 2020, October, where it was introduced by Oslo Center, the Oslo office in Nairobi.
Through the Oslo Center's Youth Assembly program in Mombasa County, participants have had the opportunity to develop their leadership abilities. Consequently, they have contributed to meaningful change in their community.
Mombasa Youth Assembly is a shadow assembly that gives the youth a platform to raise their voice and be part of decision-making and county programs.
2020, a friend called, said, Rehema, there is an organization that is coming up, Kwale Youth Assembly. Can we join? Can you represent the youth in Samburu? And that's how the journey began.
Young people know their problems and they have their solution. They just need a platform to harness their skills and give ideas where can be taken into decision making.
I'm ready to serve as the Speaker of this second Kwale Youth Parliament since inception.
This is the beginning. This is and the sky is?
I,
Omar
Salim Chamira,
I take this opportunity to congratulate all the members that were actually elected and the Speaker. I want to say congratulations and to the President for this opportunity that you've been given.
This assembly has its policy cycle where we have our steering meeting, we have our barazas, then we have our plenary session, then after plenary we have our cabinet meetings. After cabinet meetings we have stakeholder engagements.
The Youth Assembly, we have the 50-50 rule
whereby the female youth are able to participate equally as our male counterparts. And this has enabled us to rise above these gender norms and how our culture has perceived us.
Before I joined the county government of Kwale as the municipal manager, I have been a member of Kwale Youth Assembly since its inception in 2019. It has been an amazing journey. Right from inception, we've undergone capacity building trainings. Our partners also sent us have been instrumental in building my capacity to make sure I'm able to deliver to my mandate. One thing I like about the assembly is the rallying call over making sure there is meaningful inclusion of young people.
In the name of God.
In the name of God. My primary role has been advocating as well as being the voice of the youth with disabilities across the county in the assembly.
Thank you very much to Oslo, and of course get encouraged day by day to make sure that you work with the youth. I'm very sure that the youth programs that you have run for the number of years you've stayed active, you are now seeing the fruits.
The youth assemblies have not only empowered young people to engage in important issues, but have also provided a platform for cultural education.
Nimehudhuria sana kwa mikutano ya Lamu Youth Assembly na kuna mambo mengi ambayo yamenisaidia. Haswa kama hapa Lamu kuna challenge nyingi sana kwa upande wa vijana. Vijana wa hapa kwetu wengi walikuwa ni wanajihusisha na mambo ya mihadarati, lakini kwa wakati ambao Lamu Youth Assembly amekuwa akiwahusisha katika hii mikutano mingi, kwa ukweli kumekuwa na changes kwa vijana wa hapa Lamu.
Before, we did not have the right platform for us to air our views. Instead, we use violent mechanism towards having our voices heard by the government stakeholders.
Through the assembly, we were able to push the county assembly and other stakeholders to enact the SGBV policy that has really come into shape after so many years.
Siamini kwa leo naibu gavana uko hapa katika kikao hichi. Na nasuti.
The Youth Assembly has redefined our approach. We now have constructive engagement through youth barazas and forming policies that are presented to the government.
Lamu Youth Assembly, we have worked so closely with them as far as the peace is concerned, youth empowerment. We have also the issue of the eradication and the issue of drugs.
Kwa event ya leo,
Lamu Youth Assembly attracted us because of the diversity and the way they articulate issues. Lamu Youth Assembly has also enabled us as an interest group to be able to focus objectively on areas of the community to prevent and also to counter violent extremism. We've also partnered with them in civil-military cooperation, in distribution of sanitary towels, support during the floods and during calamities in Lamu County.
Lately, I've observed positive response from the government as we can be able to air our views out and they can be heard and implemented.
Through this organization of Lamu Youth Assembly, they are so instrumental to an extent whereby even our work as national government has been so easy because most of the youth of the assembly have been trained. They assist us also to disseminate national functions.
This assembly has one nominated member of county assembly in Mombasa County through the ODM Democratic Party.
Through the engagements nimeweza ku enhance my leadership skills na nikaweza kugombania wadhifa wa MCA Mkomani Ward, nikaweza kushindwa, lakini pia iliweza kunisaidia kulingana na ile mileage na zile harakati za kupigania wa vijana, nikachaguliwa kwa board ama parastatal ya serikali through appointed by the President of the Republic of Kenya. Nikaweza kukua board of director katika Coast Development Authority, na ni wadhifa mkubwa zaidi kwa sababu natumikia jamii yangu in a bigger scale.
My role as an assistant county commissioner is we maintain peace and order in the community. Second one is coordinating national government departments. Now that means I need to have problem solving skills. My communication skills have to be okay, critical thinking, listening skills. All these, I learned them in the Kwale Youth Assembly.
The Youth Assembly has given me an opportunity for personal and professional growth. I was selected to become a Women and Youth in Democracy program as an Accountability Hub member, and currently I'm implementing a program known as Young Women at the Table.
Together, we, the youth and the community, can have the development agenda that we envision.
Kwale County Assembly will partner with this bunge, the new bunge, to ensure that we deliver to our community all the memorandum and petitions that we'll have.
As national government, will give them full support.
I'm a young leader. I resonate so well with the young people in Bomet and even young people across the country.
The journey and the success stories, the transformation of young people who've been once members of Kwale Youth Assembly and who've transitioned to holding different leadership positions in the county government and the national government is a testimony that indeed, as young people, we can meaningfully contribute to the development of our county government in political and socio-economic matters. Vijana tunaweza.
Kwale oye!
Together, we can pave the way for young people to realize their full potential and contribute to inclusive and sustainable development, peace, and stability.